Welcome to our week 4 devotion, and congratulations, you're a little over halfway through your first course or 2 courses, depending on what you're taking. And man, it's beginning to get a little tough. I know there's a lot of work to juggle between the 2 classes. There's deadlines during the week. There's just a lot of things going on, a lot of projects and a lot of work and a lot of assignments, a lot of homework. And you may be feeling a little overwhelmed. In fact, you may be feeling like quitting or giving up. But I want to encourage you to hang in there, and I want to share a verse with you tonight that may give you a little bit of encouragement. I say it's one of my least favorite verses in the Bible. And yes, I know most people say, oh, this is my favorite verse, and then they share something very moving. I want to share this in light of, it's probably my least favorite, because it's a tough one to do, but it's one of those that we've got to apply it into our lives. And it will impact our lives if we let it. So in just a lot of encouraging you to hang in there, to keep pushing forward with your work and your education and the courses that you're in, let me share this passage out of James 1 for you. It says, "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work in you, so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." Now, I don't know about you, but this is a little tough passage to apply, because I don't always jump up and down with excitement when something hard is happening, or when I'm dealing with a struggle, or bad things have happened. You know, I just don't celebrate it. But I think we've got a wrong interpretation of the word joy here. It's not equating happiness with what's going on. It's a term that means peace. So it's a place of peace. It's a place of understanding that God has it all under control, and I can just kind of breathe and rest in it and know that it's going to work out. He says that whenever you face trials of many kinds, and this is a trial or a test, you know, that some passages, some translations have it as test. And that's not what it's talking about here. It's not that God's testing us to see if we're going to pass, fail. It's really a blacksmithing term or silversmithing, metalsmithing term. And it means to burn the impurities out. And when a metalsmith is working with gold or silver, they heat it up, it burns the impurities out, and it becomes pure gold or pure silver. When you see the blacksmith take that iron, he puts it in the fire and gets it red hot, and then he's taking the hammer and he's bang, 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 bang on that iron. It's tempering it, it's testing it, it's making it stronger. And that's what God's saying here in this passage, that these things, it's a strengthening of us, of our faith. And he says it produces perseverance. Now, perseverance is not a term that we use a lot, but it means just hang in there, to keep stepping forward, to keep pushing forward, to keep moving forward, to keep on keeping on. It's putting one step in front of the other when that's all you can do sometimes. It's continuing to do that. And it's persevering with your schoolwork. It's persevering with the hard things in life, the difficulties you may be going through. But he's saying that, you know, all of this is really helping us develop the stick-to-itness. And that's what we've got to develop, that discipline of hanging in there when it's tough and not quitting and not giving up. And he says this, though. He says that perseverance, let it finish its work so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. Now, a lot of us have gotten to the other side of hard things, and we can look back and go, yeah, I can see where God was maturing me or developing me or changing me or transforming me because of some of these things. And it's easy to do when we're on the other side of it. And I encourage you, when you're in a tough time, to stop for a minute, to think, okay, what has God brought me through before? What have I learned from hanging in there? What can I use, the resources to help me persevere? What is it in my strengths library, my toolkit that I can use to really kind of help me get through this? And you can begin to strengthen that thing about yourself, to strengthen your perseverance, to mature and to grow. I heard this speaker a few years ago. This is Aaron Ralston, and the book was called Between a Rock and a Hard Place, and when they turned the book into a movie, it was 127 hours. It came out last summer. And I heard this guy speak, and if you know the story, he was the hiker that was trapped by a boulder that fell and trapped his arm, pinned it to the wall of the canyon, and he was trapped there for 127 hours is the storyline. And he ends up having to amputate his own arm so that he could get free. And he tells the story of his survival, of actually cutting his arm off. And, man, it was a grueling story to hear him live tell it. But he said this, he had got to the place where he knew he was going to die. back. He'd taken his knife and etched in the stone, "Rest in peace." And he took his video camera that he had with him, and he messages back to his family. He said, "This is what's going on. I love you. This is where I'm at. And whoever finds this camera, please get it to my family." And you can watch those videos on YouTube. They're out there if you want to see just how assured he was that he was dying. He said about the third day, he began to hallucinate. He was dehydrated, had gone through all of his food and all of his water. He had attempted to cut into the flesh, but he had a dull knife, just was not a good quality knife. And he said he kind of got that second wind of, okay, I can do this if I can break through the two bones that are there. And he describes the process of actually torquing down on his knees to snap one of the bones and then climbing up on top of that rock that has him pinned there and dropping off and snaps the other bone. And then begins to saw through that flesh and muscle and the veins and the nerves. And he says when he got to that main nerve there, it's about the size of a thick guitar string, that every time he touched it, it was like fire shooting through his arm. And he said he began to tell himself that pain is life. Pain is life. As long as I'm feeling pain, I'm still alive, and there's a chance that I can live. And he completes cutting his arm off, puts a tourniquet on it. Still wasn't sure that he was going to make it out because he still had 8 miles to hike back to his car. It was in completely dehydrated state. He takes the camera and returns it onto his nub, and what he'd done, he goes, "I've done this because I love you." He wanted his family to know that even if he didn't survive, what he was going through because he loves him. But if you know the story, as he was getting out of the canyon, he comes across 2 hikers that find him. They start trying to get him back to the car. Still didn't know if he was going to live because of the shock and the loss of blood. And the rescue helicopter had already started trying to find him. His mom had kind of a premonition of where he was. She had done some research. Had got them looking for him. And he says that once he survived that he realized that God had not given him this miracle to put in his back pocket. And he said that it was the best thing that ever happened to him, losing his arm. Because what he's doing now is pretty amazing, because he's back to rock climbing and mountain climbing and snow skiing and hiking. But he's taking veterans that have lost their limbs, and he's designed prosthetics to allow them to snow ski and to rock climb. And so he says, the worst thing that I've ever gone through, I persevered through it. I didn't allow myself to die. I made it through. I did what I had to do to get free, and God has used that in a great way. So know God is going to use whatever you're persevering through, what you're going through, what you're having to get through, to mature you, to make you stronger for what He wants to do for you and His purpose. That's my prayer for you this week. If you're struggling, reach out to your site directors, reach out to your instructors, reach out to the resources that are available to you to help keep you moving forward. Thank you, and God bless you.